Welcome to the MadHouse podcast, a safe place where we discuss the things that have been on our mind. So sit back, relax, as we dive deep down into the rabbit hole to see how far it goes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the MadHouse podcast.
Yeah,
How you feeling today, bro?
I'm good.
Yeah.
You got that stimmy.
Oh, you got that stimmy? So got you feeling real good, huh?
Stimmy.
Oh man, so I got here and like right when I walked in the door, he didn't even say nothing. I just felt this energy coming from him, and like I could feel it. And I was like, oh man, he got a different vibe in the house today. He was like in mad scientist mode. So I walked in here and we started talking and stuff. So I mean, I could just feel the energy. Like if you could see the frequency right now that he's vibrating on, if you could physically see it,
Yeah.
it would just be like this all over us. Like it's just his aura is changed. It just hit different when the energy different.
I'm telling you. So, if y'all don't know, like I've always been into art, right? But I fell off of it for a while. It's something about like just hand drawn. I was like, I just really don't want to do it. And I kind of lost a little passion for it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I would still even do anything in art is because you would ask, or every now and then Crystal would ask me to do stuff for her too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like not too long ago, Crystal was like, hey, I was supposed to draw something for my friend, and I procrastinated on it for 6 months, and I need it right now. Can you do it for me? And I'm like, all right, cool. So I just did it, and then for like, oh, this is so great. It must have took forever. And I'm like, and I was like, I just did that last night. So it's like, I kind of fell off of it.
Yeah.
But what recently sparked was seeing my son. Because my son he's kind of like me at a young age. He's been really creative. He loves to draw, paint, build, and he has this creative spark, right? And he has this vibe. He's been like continuously asking me to do this cartoon. Because I told him, hey, we'll do a cartoon. And he's been continuously asking me, right? And I felt bad because he would always keep coming, Dad, when are we doing this? You said we're doing it. When are we doing it? And I kept telling my son, I can draw. We draw these little things. That's cool, but I can't really draw on a computer with a mouse, so I can't do this. Like I want you to be happy, but I can't do what I told you we're gonna do because I can't draw on the mouse.
Oh,
And so, and I felt bad, but I was like, I want to pursue this because I want to make his dreams become into reality. I want him to see his ideas and the things that he imagined in his head come into reality.
Yeah, give him life and kind of create. I mean, like, you've always been very artistic. Like, you've always been really good at creating, which, little lesser known fact, all the tattoos that I have on me, this dude has designed them all. So when people be like, oh man, I love your tattoos, I'm like, yeah, my brother designs all my tattoos. Like, maybe like one or two that I tried to freelance on some of them, but not very many. Like, pretty much every tattoo that I have, he is solely designed it for me. And like, it's crazy. Like, the whole process itself is like, I have a piece of paper and like, it looked just like this. Like, I literally give him something that looks just like this. And I'll be like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is the vibe I'm going for. And he'll take it and he'll create it into something with like the message that I want in the whole shebang. And like, you just don't have people that you vibe with like that understands you. You just don't find that every single day. Like, your particular style of art, I gravitate towards because it's meaningful. It means something. Like, and you can just draw something up real quick, but you draw something up and I'm just like, oh, this is dope. Be like, I just freehanded that, bro. Like, I created that in like 10 minutes. I'm like, bro, this is legit. You're kind of like Hannibal from the A-Team. You ever, like, I was watching the A-Team the other day. He's like, you give me a minute, I'm good. You give me an hour, I'm unbeatable. And I started thinking about you because I was like, that's my brother right there. Like, you give him like 10 minutes, I'm like, hey, bro, I need this in like, I need this next week. You be like, oh yeah, I got you. It'd be like day 6. I'm like, hey, you good? Can I see a rough draft? Like, oh yeah, I'm finna do it. And then like in 30 minutes, you send me something like, what you think about this? And then from there we start making it. But then by the deadline, it's actually I don't like playing it too close to the chest like that. But I don't like procrastinating. But still, like, he still gives me what I want, and it's like you work good under that pressure. But you've always been a creator. You've always been somebody that can like make things, and like I'm glad that you're kind of getting that spark back going.
And see, yeah, that's why I said I have to get that spark because it's sometimes it's hard for me because
Yeah.
like I want to do work, but like it's like I don't know. It's like sometimes stuff you're like, dang, I want it done, but like literally, it's just like I have to like feel it because like I had lost so much of that passion, that drive for art. It's like if I'm not feeling it, I'm just not gonna do anything. Like I don't feel the vibe, and then there's times when it's like, then a couple of days might go by and I'm like, all right, now I'm feeling like now I'm creating. So good.
Just woke up.
You know what?
I can write this down. Yeah.
And so, but I wanted to return to that place where I can say I have that passion all the time where like I can always do that. But I have lost that, and my son wanted it so bad, and I got to STEMI.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what do I need to do with this? I was like, there was like so many things. Like, man, I can get myself all the things I've been wanting that I didn't have.
I'm gonna get all you can eat wings from Hooters.
I'm telling you. I was like, PlayStation 5, this. And I was like, well, hold on. I said, I need to think about enabling my kids. I think that's the first thing I thought about. And I said, the first thing I had to do was take care of my promise. I told my son we was going to do this.
Yeah.
And so, what do I need to get to do this? And I was like, I was looking up some drawing tablets, and they were a lot of them were like, they were upwards of like $3,000. And so like, I was like, okay, what is a base version that I can get?
What's the great value version of this?
You know what I'm saying? That it's a good product, but it's not like the perfect. Because like I got like the good, like, hey, the beginner product. The professional products is like $3,000.
This ain't the one Mizone song is using.
Yeah,
this is the Walmart version, but I get it.
But so it's like, okay, I can buy this. It's an $80 investment, but I get to fulfill the dream and passion of my son. But I also get to explore my own creativity, right?
Yeah.
And I get to now be more productive in the things that I do during the day, because a lot of times, like, okay, I'll sit and play video games. I have nothing to do, but I don't have anything, and I didn't have any money. It's like, well, now that I have bought this, now I can spend hours and hours learning tools, creating, getting comfortable with designing, and I can explore more creative avenues, so that I can now, in a sense, produce more money.
Yeah, be more productive and just in general. Like, and I think you said something that's really, really important. Motivation isn't always there. Sometimes it's hard to come by. Like, I would love to say that, like, I want to go to the gym every day. I love going to the gym. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love going, but there are just times where I'm not motivated to go.
Yeah.
I go through my moods of, like, I'm just like, I'll go and I'm just kind of like, I'm turning the wheels. Like, I'm just kind of going just because, like, this is what I do. But I like to create words. So, like, I like to write poetry and things like that. But I'm just like you. Like, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not putting my all. It's not, the shit's not good. And if it's not good, I'll know it's not good because I'm sitting there looking at it like, I don't even want to share this with anybody because I don't think it's good. Like, to me, it's not good enough to share. So I'm like, I'm not going to share it. And it's like, it bothers me when I go through those times because I'm sitting there like, I want to create something. I want to write something meaningful. But usually when I create things, I'm going through something. So, I don't want to say it's like a bad thing, but most of the time I'm feeling something internally that I'm just like, I had to get out, and this was the way that I thought to get it out. Just quick side note, one time I created something. I was in one of my moods. I was just really in a shitty mood, and I wrote something so good, and I was like, oh, this is so great. And then, like, I hit a button and I deleted it. It was on my phone. I deleted it, and I couldn't recover it. And I was like, I sat there for literally like an hour and a half, just mad. I was just like looking at the thing, and then my buddy called. He's like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, I'm pissed. He was like, well, what's wrong? I was like, I just created something that was really, really good, and I deleted it. He was like, well, just recreate it. I was like, I can't just recreate it, bro. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, even as I was trying to like think of how I said it and what I said is like, the words, it was in that moment that I was able to, I can't just be like, okay, I'll just do it all over again. I'm like, no, once it's gone, the shit's gone. Like, I can't just do it. I can't manufacture that feeling, that raw emotion that I had when I made it. But, motivation is super hard to get sometimes, and sometimes we just don't have it. And like I said, I would love to say that I'm always motivated, to go to the gym, but I'm not. Like there are days where like I just don't feel it.
But-
Even when I don't feel it, I still want to go. But if I go and I don't do what I want to do, even though I knew I wasn't feeling it, I'll feel even worse. But sometimes you gotta push through that shit. Like
Yeah, you gotta find something to kind of like tell it to. Like I said, for me right now, it was my son. Like he wanted
like that idea of creating something.
Yeah. And so it's like he wanted something, and that I wasn't even really motivated at the time, but he wanted something, and I was motivated to enable him.
Yeah.
And in turn, I ended up motivating myself because I sparked some kind of passion. I was like, hey, it was like as I was drawing, as I was learning with the tools, like man, the blending and figuring out this, it was so good because I was like, now I want to invest now while I have it in more other things that are gonna help me become more successful. And as I go down these avenues, and I feel like this is gonna be a crazy part of a journey for me now because now that I start investing more and I'll start being able to make more money to invest more, and I will start branching out and I'll start getting more motivation to do more things that are going to be productive for me. Like I know we talked about how like let's do stuff that's going to be not self-harming and more like self-enabling and
just more things that are productive as opposed to like destructive. Less alcohol, more like creating whatever it is that you're going to create. So like, I get what you're saying though.
And so I'm glad that it took my son wanting to make a cartoon to get me sparked. And I think sometimes you need that. Like you find motivation in the smallest things. And I think it's funny that everything in life happens for a reason. So I don't necessarily take anything for granted. I tell the story. I tell my kids all the time. I said I would never do anything else in my life over again because everything I did led to y'all.
Yeah, brought me to this point.
And to this point. And I said the little things matter so much that we overlook because
it's the little things that get you caught, Jimmy.
I'm telling you because I remember it was me and Kendrick. Remember Kendrick?
Talking about the Burger King?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, I was me and Kendrick. We was deciding like it was in my Mustang. I was like, hey. You want to go to you want a Big Mac or a Whopper? And I tell my kids the story all the time. And he's like, I don't care. I was like, well, we'll get a Big Mac. And that's where I met my wife. She was working, my ex-wife. She was working there. And, I started hollering at her. And, we ended up, hey, all these years later. Now
we got the rapping, and that's how it happened.
I'm telling you. And it's like, now I got two beautiful babies that I would never take anything back from. So, I tell that story to say that it was something so small as deciding between a Big Mac and a Whopper that set me on a path to have two beautiful babies. And now it was my son wanting to take what was in his head and put it on paper and then have his dad, because he knows his dad can draw, to make it a reality. And it's like, you don't really think about it because it's so little. It's like, okay, son, you want this? But it's those little things that they get you motivated and that can drive you. But you have to be real perceptive of like when these things happen. Because a lot of times we can pass them by. But like you find that little thing and it motivates you and say, hey, I'm going to grab a hold of this. This is a wave and I'm going to ride it.
This is my thing. Like this is the thing that will push me past that like that threshold of like, I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to deal with the pain or whatever. I have something similar, but it's not quite the same. I have an idea, like I have a concept, I guess. I want to be a father that my son can be proud of. Like I always had this idea in my head of like going to pick my son up from school and like, you have that deal. He's like, he's like his mom went to the door and she got the house robe on with the with the thing on her head, house coat on, but she done lost the string, so she got to hold it together. And he's like, damn, who mama is that? And I'm just sitting there. I was like, I've always had this concept in my head. I was like, I don't want to be that the male equivalent of that. I don't want that to be me. Like when I go to pick my son up from school and people see that, like, oh, that's Jaco's dad. Like, you know that's his dad. Like, oh, that's Jaco's dad. You know, oh shit, he working out. Like, he got the curly hair. Like, he got that nice beard. He got beard oil in there. Like, oh, that's Jaco's dad. But that's what I want. Like, I want to be somebody that my son can be proud of. And like when he like looks up to me and aspires to me, he's like, you know, obviously I don't want him to be like me, but like I want to set a good model for him. Like, you know, hey son, you know, you take care of yourself. You know, you try to act in the way that you think is the right way, and like I just want to show him a better way to do it. So that idea itself has driven me to do more and to kind of push past that pain, because you know there were times where I was down bad, man. I wasn't doing good. And the one concept that always brings me back is like, you know, what would your son say if he was seeing you doing this? Like, what would your son think about you if he saw what you were about to do, or he saw what you were currently doing? And I'm like, man, you know, I don't want, you know, how can I tell him like, hey, don't do this, but you watching me do it? You know, that's like lining up a thing of Coke or something, and you're like, all right, don't do this, and then like he's like, okay, but you do as I say, not as I do. I'm like, I don't want to be all like that. I don't want to have that precedent and be like, you know, do as I say, not as I do. And I'm like, okay, look, I just need to set a better example. So that's the concept that has kind of always driven me, because I always want to be a better person, not only for myself, but for my son. You know, like, I want that image that I see of myself picking him up from, like, school. And obviously that's, like, the perfect version of me. I got these huge biceps. I got these large traps. I got this chest. It's, like...
Well, you pull up like the Rock to the
field.
Like
I want people to be like, oh shit, is that the Rock? And I'm like, hey, don't disrespect that man like that. But yes, I am him. Yes, I am him. So don't worry about it. But that's the thing that has always motivated me, and you know, that's kind of what I take to heart. But listening to your story, I'm just like, I'm imagining how that feels for your son to come to you and say, hey, Dad, I want to do this. Can you help me create it? And now that you're actually on the trajectory to help him create that, how does that feel to you? Like, explain to me that feeling that you're getting, knowing that you're helping to create something that it doesn't exist. It's a thought in his head, but y'all are about to bring this thing to life together.
Well, it almost reminded me of, like, you coming to me to do a tattoo, like, because, like, say, he'll come to me with these like this, and it's like, yeah, this is what I want him to look like. Or whatever, you know, like look at these.
That's literally something that I would draw. Like, I would draw something like this.
So these are his villains. Like, these are his villains, right? Mm-hmm. So like this is, and he's like, I want you to take these and I want you to make them into a cartoon for me. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what is this? So I'm like,
it's a stick figure.
But it's like, he's passionate about it. He's always asking about it. And like I said, it motivated me, and then I realized that it felt so good because I feel like there's this, how do I say it? It's almost like this invisible bond.
Yeah.
Like it's growing, right? It's almost like it's almost like a thread.
Yeah.
Right? So like right now, you know, me and my son, it's like a thread. But as we grow and as we create things together, and as I help him, I help enable him to make his dreams come true, and he sees that his father is there, and he's working with them, and he knows that, and I can see his ideas, and we're working together. It starts to add layers, right? And that thread starts to get, you know, a few more layers, and starts to twist into it starts to braid now into a tight knot, so where it's like real strong, and then you got 550 cord. It's not going nowhere, right? And so it's like it's getting real tight, and it's that solid bond that I think is gonna like last through the years, and it's gonna be great. And like that also motivates me. It's like, man, like years down the line, if my son decides that, hey, I want to be an architect or graphic designer or whatever,
this could be the idea that sparked that whole. I remember when I was 4, we created a cartoon together. I want to be like. This one little seed that you're planting now could end up shaping the way he lives his whole life. And it's crazy to think about that.
Crazy. And it's motivating, man, because it could always go the opposite way. Because if your child has a dream, you could easily crush it and hamper the child for a while, right? Or you could, like, help that thing grow, right? And it's like like how we always say, it's like, hey, we got to put everything has a season. And right now we planting seeds, right? Well, I wouldn't even say we planting seeds. Like right now we trying to work the soil, right?
Yeah.
So we tend into the soil, and it's like, okay, eventually we're gonna plant that seed, and then eventually it's gonna be that season for harvesting, right?
Yeah.
And
as long
then
as you water it with love,
I'm telling you, and
support, so yeah.
It motivates me, and I mean, I can't wait for you to feel that when Jacob comes and says, you know, or whatever he's into. I have no idea, but like whatever he's into, and he says, "Dad, I'm into this. Like, can you help me do this?" Like, who knows? He might want to. Like you always make the joke, like you want to be in the gym and he wants to be a track star. He might be like, you might hate cardio. Be like, he might be like, Dad,
I don't like cardio.
You like, Dad, I really want to get this 40 down. Can you like go run with me and we work on running? And you like, man, like son, like this is my like. You might have an hour. You might have an hour a day. Like this is your gym time, and he's like, that might be the only time you can go. You like, hey, Dad, every day of the week I need to do. He's like, well, I gotta miss out a whole week in the gym. But it's like right now he needs me. He want to hit this. He want to hit this time. So it's like I gotta go run with him now.
And I'll always show up for Jay. It doesn't matter what it is. Like whatever he's passionate about, I'll give him that same energy because whatever he likes, I'll like. Not because I like it, but because he likes it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not really into this. We spend so much time watching damn kids' TV shows, but he gets so excited. We watching one called Mighty Express right now. You've seen it. It's just trains. The shit don't make no sense. It's like a little 13-minute episode, 14, whatever. But it don't make any sense to me. But he gets super excited about it. Look, they're making tracks. I'm like, yeah, but you can't. That's not how you lay down train tracks. Like you don't. The train's not carrying the tracks and laying it down as it's going up. And then like the situations just don't make no sense. But he want like it ain't good enough to just watch. He want me to sit there and watch it with him. And then he want to tell me, look, Dad, look, the train's flying. I'm like, yeah, but okay. But he's just super excitable about it. He wants to share everything. It's like everything he's doing, he wants to tell me that he's doing, and he wants to see how excited I'm gonna get about it. Look, Dad, I got a balloon. I'm like, oh, you got a balloon? I just want to give him that same energy to kind of feed him because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, hey man, whatever. Like, look, Dad, I made this, and I'm like, oh, you know, whatever. Like, I'm gonna make it seem like that's the best artwork that I've ever seen because if he does want to create something more, I want him to bring more of those things to me, and I want him to feel comfortable when he creates things or when he does things, because now we're sharing in something. Like that's a bond that we're now sharing because now we have little inside jokes, and he's like, oh, I made this, and I'm like, son, that's a mud pie. He's like, but I made it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I pretend like I'm eating it or whatever, but I like those moments, you know.
Well, it's like motivation is like a double swinging door, right? Yeah. So like, we find things that spark us, but that energy can also be used to spark others, right? And so we have to feed that, right? So you have to feed that positivity, right? And I want to credit somebody, but I can't really credit them right now because I can't think of who's. Maybe multiple people.
Talking about Cardi B?
No, boy, no. But it was something to the effect of you are who you put yourself around, right? And I'm pretty sure we did a show kind of about this. By like
surround yourself with
surround yourself by people. If you surround yourself with toxic people, you're gonna get toxicity. If you surround yourself with people who are like-minded and who are motivated, you're also gonna get that motivation, right?
Yep.
And so I think that's important.
Secondhand motivation.
Yeah, it's important, man. So we have to surround ourselves with that, and we have to foster that in our kids.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that when we give it, it's not just because sometimes I have the same problem. It's like, Dad, look at this, and I'm like, okay.
That's two blocks stacked on top of each other. I'm like,
it's like, but to them, it's like it's something crazy. Yeah. So it's like, I'm gonna give you that energy because I'm gonna feed you, and you're gonna feed me. Yeah. And we're gonna work off each other, and we're gonna build that positive network, and we're gonna keep motivating each other. And I think that sometimes it's easy to fall into that downward spiral of like depression, where you just don't want to be motivated to do anything. Because I've been down that hole myself,
and it's hard to get out. It's hard to manufacture motivation if you just it's like a feeling. Like if you're not feeling it, you can go do the thing that you're not feeling like doing, but you're not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm physically here, but I am not like emotionally and mentally here. Like I am just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
So it's like those times where I don't want to go to the gym. Sometimes I need those times, but sometimes I'm just like I just go, and sometimes I'm there for like 30 minutes, just kind of doing some shit, and I'm like,
and then you can find other stuff too. Like I mean, I imagine if you have those moments, I think when you have those moments when you don't really want to be there, you know, maybe just look around. I don't know what kind of if your gym is hardcore, but like
it is a hardcore gym.
Because so if you go around and you see you might not want to be there, but then you like just take some time to walk around the gym and be like just look at people, because then you might be like, yo, that dude's like 120 and he's hitting more than me, like.
It's crazy because like
his set is cleaner than mine. Like I know I could do better than that. So like you find other things like that competitive motivation too. It's like, oh, dude just threw 5 plates on. Like
I ain't stupid.
You know, like.
But like it's like people know me at the gym because I'm such a regular that like you get that gym respect. Because when people see you in there all the time and they actually see you working, they come up and they talk to you. So now people know your work ethic. So people know me in the gym, even though we've never really met like that. They know me. They, oh, what's up, dude? Or we give the general, like, you know, elbow bumps or whatever, you know, COVID. Yeah. So we just elbow bump or whatever. So sometimes they'll come up and talk to me, and they'll be like, oh, hey, you know, what you working on today? Because it'd be like a time where I'm just not, he's like, you all right, man? You look tired. I'm like, yeah, I am tired. But he's like, hey, come on, let's get up. Like, come on, get what you working on today. Go get that set. I'm like, you know what, you right, bro. Let me go ahead and get my ass up and do some damn work. And then I get up and go do it because that motivates me. Because, like, you just never know who's watching you. Like, I post a lot of things on Instagram and, like, I do a lot of dancing videos. But, like, I get a lot of positive reception back from that, from just a multitude of people. Like, oh, man, I'm glad you posted. I was feeling real shitty today. And then I'll look at your video and you were smiling and dancing and having fun. And, like, now I'm feeling that energy. And I'm like, that makes me feel good. Like, I didn't even care about that. I literally just, I was listening to Tank. And I made a video of me listening to Tank, and now everybody's like, "Oh,
Tank,
hey,
boy, you were born.
Better leave it out for a while." Sometimes I just be in the Tank mood. I just want to listen to some Tank.
Well, when we taking it old school, that's not even. But see that's weird. That's not even old school.
Tank.
This is
that's new stuff.
Side tangent. This ain't old school, but it's kind of old school. Like
not everybody know about Tank.
Yeah, not everybody know about Tank.
He a songwriter, but like. Sometimes I just want to listen to Tank, and I listen to the songs, and then like I make videos, and people are like, oh man, I love that energy, man. Like, you know, it brings a smile to my face. Now I'm feeling good about myself or whatever, and I'm like, man, I'm glad that I could do that for you. So even when I'm not motivated to do stuff, sometimes it's the little, like just like you said, those little things, like just the little comments of people like, oh, well, I saw this and now I'm motivated to do this, or now I wasn't having a good day, but I saw you smiling and now I'm feeling good. And I'm like, you just never know who's watching, how people are like receiving the things that you're putting out. So as long as you're putting out good energy, I think that you'll receive it back. And even in those times where you're not really feeling like yourself and like you're not feeling like you want to go do whatever, there's always that one little, as long as you're paying attention, there's always something there to remind me. Yeah. Like there's just always that thing there that will help kind of get you out that hole. You just have to pay attention to it, and you have to be cognizant and make an effort to be, okay, I'm not really feeling it today. Let me take a second. Let me scan my surroundings and let me see what's going on here. Because there might be that one thing that you'll see, and you're like, you know what? Let me get my ass up and go do some damn work. And then there you go being productive. Yep. So you know how that goes.
That's how it happens, man. Like, so just so y'all know, like I said, it's a little motivational but I'm a motivational rant.
Yeah.
And I think it was something that needed to be said because I think we're both finding those motivations. And I hope my motivation spark you to do something today. Like, I don't know.
I'm serious. When you open the door, when I cross the threshold of this door, I just felt something. I knew you were finna say something because I felt this energy coming off of you. He said at the computer's like, yeah, I got this thing. I was like, oh shit, he over here working. He's like, I don't agree with his methods. He listens to the same song on repeat. And I swear, just the 5 minutes I was here, the same song like 17 times. I was like, hey, bro, I like this song, but we got to change it. I can't work under these conditions.
Well, the reason is, like I don't really, like, you'll play a song, and then I like, oh, I like that song. So I don't know any other songs because I don't keep up with none of this new music. So I'll just say, okay, well, Jordan played this song, it was good. So I'll put that on repeat, and I will literally listen to that one song for hours.
I'm like, hey, listen, that's been playing for 30 minutes now. You got to change that.
I'll listen to that one for like 3 days straight on loop.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's like that's what I do. Like I'll just play the same song. Like I don't have a mixtape. So
so we got for one, we'll work on that. So hopefully this will motivate him to make a mixtape of songs because you can't do that. But I think this was a good episode, man. I think that we talked had a lot of good tidbits of information about like motivation, kind of finding those little sparks, and like if you're out there. Pay attention, open your eyes. Conditions won't always be ideal. Things aren't always going to line up exactly the way that you want them to line up. But sometimes it's about exercising patience. Something we'll talk about at a later date. But be patient, open your eyes, look around, see if you can find those little sparks of motivation. Hopefully you find something to kind of help push you through the day.
If they're there, you gotta see them.
Open your eyes.
They're always there. All right, till next time.
All right, you guys take it easy. We'll holler at you later, all right?
Thanks for tuning in with us today. Hopefully we were able to give you something you can use and take forward into your day. If you want to reach out to us with any questions, comments, concerns, or even topic requests, links are in the description. Join us back here again next week in the MadHouse. We appreciate you and where you are in your journey in life. And always remember, we're all quite mad here. You'll fit right in.